Well, hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time. Pull up a chair. Grab a cuppa of whatever it is you're stuffing under your nose there, pal. Chief, sizzle chest, chowder head, anything. You, hello, welcome. Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of stuffed animals from our Boston studios. It's the Comics Coffee Table. Pull up a chair, grab a cuppa. Leave your real-world problems over there just for a few minutes. We're going to take a break and talk about comic books because we love to talk about comic books. We love comic books, and that's all there is to it. Cheers. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Over and out, you know? There's a lot of that. To be like, it's called resilience. It's how you get it, you know? You got to run your moods and don't let your moods run you. You got to run your errands. Don't let your errands run you. I think you can apply that to anything, with probably the exception of children, apparently. But I don't know, because I am not a parent, and so I have no skin in that game. I got no opinion. I got nothing to say. That's probably the toughest job in the world. I work with a lot of single mums. There's no Steve Martin joke there. And the struggle is real. I had one. Okay, the struggle is definitely real. So, on that note, let's talk about not the real world. Let's talk about our comic books. And this year, I'm rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire collection. Along the way, I'm going to get a ballpark estimate of what my collection is worth. Also wrapping my head around how to better grade comics. And it's been really cool because I didn't know any of this stuff. And so it's been a learning experience all along the way. Hopefully you've been learning too. My parents gave me these books for Christmas, and so this season is dedicated to my parents. Thank you. I love you. And you can find links to both of these on the in the description to their Amazon page, where you can play along at home and you can get a better clue of what your collection is worth as well. Indeed. Now, if you have any serious questions about the condition or the quality of your comic books, please go to your local comic book shop, your LCS. I can't. Don't even try, Sully. Just your LCS, your local comic book shop, the mom and pop brick and mortar shops that sell you these funny books every Wednesday. And I'm getting my supplies there. I'm buying my boxes there. I'm getting my boards there. And I'm getting my bags there because they deserve my business. And because we need to help keep them open. Yes, they have a symbiotic relationship, the comic book shops and we. You know, they are the fulcrums and centerpieces of our culture and community. It's not the internet. It's which has amazing powers. It's the comic book shop, and it's the comic book shop style talk. And it's like you don't get that level of anonymous outrage when you have in-face comic book shop talk. You must excuse me. I just fell down the deepest, darkest rabbit hole of DC Comics of inconsequentialness, and it is the wiki on Countdown to Final Crisis. As I started reading the other day, got interrupted by myself, and I didn't finish up with that because it none of the events here figures into the Final Crisis. While the book was billed as leading up to the beginning of DC's Final Crisis limited series, it later emerged that the plot lines in Countdown had diverged from what was written for Final Crisis, leading to continuity problems between the two books, as noted by Final Crisis author Grant Morrison. Much of the comic has subsequently been retconned out of continuity, along with Death of the New Gods, Jimmy Olsen learning Superman's secret identity, the battle between him and Darkseid, and other such events have been ignored following the conclusion of the series. And that's true. I mean, because I was in for this every week. And it was, and all the tie-in stuff too. Let's get to it. Let's see. Mary Batson awakens from a coma after the events of the trials of Shazam, in which she lost her abilities mid-flight due to the death of Shazam and fell 3 miles. She seeks Freddie Freeman, who paid her hospital bills, and consults Madame Xanadu, who fails to locate Freddie, who is now the Shazam. You know, he's in the Rock of Eternity. And let's see. Mary acquires the power of Black Adam. Bagging, boarding, boards. Now let's look at it real quick. All Flash. Remember, this is a one-shot. September of 07. And there's look, video game ads. These were huge. Who are they targeting? Going on now. Hey, look, we got Wally. We got the kids. We got Linda. My name is Wally West. The fastest man alive. I love how they always... I love Wally West comic books when they're done right, you know. And this is... Ooh. The art is done by, let's see. We got Carl Kerschel in here, Ian Churchill and Norm Ratmond, Joe Bennett, and Daniel Acuna. Because you get pages like this. These are really cool. There's Daniel Acuna, because he was coming on to Flash with Wally coming back, and there's Jay and Irie. There you go, and Linda. I mean, these are the Flash comics that we wanted back then. See, they tried replacing Wally once, and then they tried doing Wally dirty with Heroes in Crisis, and we keep reverting back to this form. We keep breaking the character and then having to be like, oh gosh, you know what? We have to go back to what works. What works on Flash? Well, from once was Barry Allen. Jay Garrick's story was Barry Allen's story. It was Jay Garrick's story in the Golden Age. It was Barry's in the Silver and Copper Age. In the Silver and Bronze Age. But by the Copper Age, it's Wally's story. And it's been Wally's story ever since. There's room for there's room for everyone. There's a huge Flash family. Flash is just, you know, it's great. There's just, you know, one of many. It passes down from speedster to speedster. You know, they don't have to be a Flash to be in the Flash family. But yeah, I'm going to put these with the rest of the Flash issues. That'll be cool. And let's get back to these countdowns. So we left off with countdown 44. We have the return of Monarch. Like, who's Monarch? Who cares? Is he still Hank Hill or Hank Henshaw? Who? What? Hawk of Hawk and Dove. The big bad of Millennium. Still talking about that? That still happened? Well, it's a multiverse, so everything's happened or something. And this is Monarch, and he's going through the multiverse, gathering an army so he can fight the monitors of the 52. Now there are 52 monitors. Instead of one monitor, there are 52 of them. And there is a monitor for each Earth. Each universe of the local multiverse. Someone made this up. This is just, then people argue over this made up stuff. Yes, and people have to keep making up stuff. And it's turtles all the way down. It really is. So there's a point where we have to be like, we're arguing over this stuff. Aww. It's Connor's funeral. Isn't it? We got Titans, we've got Cassie, and there's Tim Drake, who had a fling with Cassie. Cassie was dating Connor Kent, and I think that Cassie and Tim maybe smooched. I mean, out of grief, and then I could be wrong. Could be wrong about that. It's been a while since I've read these. Yeah, so I fell down this huge rabbit hole of the wiki because I'm remembering. What I'm trying to do is remember these plot points. Like, here we go. We got, oh my goodness, we've got Mary Marvel into some antics here with some spoogy stuff. We got Clayface, and so yeah, it's like the whole. It's like somebody took your toy box and just shook it all up. Oh, look, we got Ray Palmer. We've been searching for Ray Palmer, and we've got a monitor. We've got Jason Todd. We've got Donna Troy. We've got a bunch of multiversal misfits. I think that might be Adam Ray. Is that the Adam Ray Choi? So we got Riddler. So it looks like we got Mary Marvel in Gotham. I love her black outfit. I love her white outfit too. I mean, Mary Marvel's just a really awesome character, in my humble opinion. It's been one of my favorites all my life. So I love this. In the kayfabe, it's the heel turn. And Mary had a wonderful heel turn. Yeah. It was great. Yeah, no new bag. Just, the bag's fine. Oh, it's going to get a Ford. And then I want to try to... I think I'm going to try to sell these. I'm going to try to, be like, hey, how much? Countdown complete. It includes all issues of Search for Ray Palmer. Because eventually they find Green Lantern. Kyle Rayner. And here, yeah, the Search for Ray Palmer, and like these, none of these things mattered. You know what I mean? It was Ron Mars wrote it. It's fine. And see this like double Earth here in the corner. That means like which. It becomes a cipher to be like which Earth that this is happen on. Starting here in issue 30, where they meet some kind of idealized Earth, and where all the sidekicks had grown up and taken over. So that happens on Earth 15. And then it's not the crime syndicate this time, it's the crime society on Earth 3. Because you can see by the multiverse, icon there, this takes place on Earth 3. The traditional home and the reverse. We have this one happened on Earth 8. And somewhere along the way, Karate Kid dies. That's his fate, to die in the 20th century. Or in this case, the 21st century. You got a lot of this Jimmy Olsen stuff. Earth 8 is involved here. Now I filed The Authority 1 by Grant Morrison and Gene Ha here, and that just went anywhere. But here at issue 26, it changes into Countdown to Final Crisis. And this one takes place on Earths 8 and 15. Now we have two, count them, two multiverse Earths to check off. On Earth 43 lives the vampire Batman. It was Batman versus Dracula. So Batman had to become a vampire in order to beat the bad guy. He had to, he couldn't beat Dracula. And yeah, isn't that interesting? And the slow return of Superboy Prime, now being called Superman Prime and aged up. What happened? Well, we haven't gotten to the Sinestro Corps War yet, but Sinestro Corps War uses Superboy Prime extensively as a big bad, and during that time was known as Superman Prime because of the legalities surrounding the copyright of Superboy itself. So, like, all the references to Superboy had to not be used for several years while the litigation and the negotiations were going on. It's come to a peaceful, it's come to the solution that, yeah, DC, uses Superboy. So, I bet there's a wiki for that. And here, yeah, so there, that's Superboy. That's supposed to be Superboy Prime as a grown-up. Like, all the energy he imbued at the end of Sinestro Corps War aged him up a bit. Gotham by Gaslight was one of the first multiverse tales. It was one of the first Elseworlds. So this is also saying that these officially have Earths too. So there's a Gotham by Gaslight Earth where there's a steampunk Batman in a Victorian age Gotham that just fought Jack the Ripper. Yeah, they had a lot of this Jimmy Olsen foolishness, like this. Try to go like, because Final Crisis is. We're going to talk about Final Crisis when it's time. Because it's time to talk about Final Crisis. Final Crisis is Grant Morrison being Grant Morrison, yet, and he's being a conduit to the spirit of Jack the King Kirby. And Jack Kirby, as we all, here we go. Oh, well, if that's 50, that's 40 pounds. This is 10 pounds. All right. Because Jack Kirby in the early 70s did these the New Gods and the Jimmy Olsen series too. And that has heavy elements. Stellar. No, but throughout Final Crisis. Final Crisis is basically a celebration of Kirby's New Gods and of how, the New Gods, they die and they're reborn. That's the nature of gods. Heck, if you ever watch any of the Thor movies, that's like what happens in every Thor movie, right? Thor has to die in order to be reborn, more powerful, more wise, but it's the whole death and rebirth cycle of gods. That's mythological stuff, Granny Goodness, of the New Gods, of Darkseid, of Apocalypse, the trainer of the Furies, the female Furies. Earth 30, that's where the Red Sun Batman takes place. Superman, if he crash landed in the Ukraine and not Smallville, Kansas. Then came this Countdown Arena, which was pitting multiversal copies of different heroes against each other in an arena match. So to get the best of the best for this multiverse army. And more Mary Marvel, as we know. I can't resist. Andy Kubrick covers. They're nice. But none of these stories went anywhere. None of this mattered. This was interesting, yeah. This Piper, and he's like, you know, that was actually a good story beat. Was Piper being like handcuffed to the trickster's corpse, you know, and getting away. Here's the original gender swap world. But this has been around forever. This is Earth 11, and Earth 11 has always existed, and that's, you know, that's this is where it was. There was also the race swapped one too, where there was a black Superman, and Nubia was there too, and I think Batman was the only white guy on the team. But you know, I don't understand why they didn't make Batman a band of color either. That, you know, that Earth's always existed too. Oh wow! Might need a little. And this is what not having boards will do to a comic book. They'll give them the bends. Yeah, just I don't think you can sell this. I don't think you can sell this issue in Germany. Earth 51. Yeah, I mean, there's this just like, and I love Superman Prime. I mean, Superboy Prime. I mean, but yeah, but ultimately the only place the series went was to here, the end. And none of it mattered to Final Crisis. It all just ended here at DCU number 0. And to here. One of my all-time favorite Crisis stories. And the Crisis long box was already an idea by the time something like this came out. And I was just so happy to be like tuned in to this new Crisis cycle. I mean, unfortunately, I hear that Dan DiDio, the editor-in-chief of DC at the time, he was like Crisis crazy. He also hated the Silver and Copper Age, the Silver and Bronze Age kid sidekicks in the Teen Titans, and that's why what happened to Wally, happened to Dick, happened to, you know, Donna, all this stuff happened. But things change and then they revert back to form. That's usually the way it goes in these superhero comic books. And but yeah, everything led to Final Crisis. It was literally a countdown to Final Crisis, wasn't it? It ended up being, but I mean, you spend so much money on these things, and where do they go? They didn't increase in value. They just take up a lot of space. I'm not going to read them again. I mean, you know, there's what am I going to get out of it? I've already read it once. I mean, none of these story beats mattered in any significant way. They were barely entertaining, as in like retaining, like I guess like that Piper story beat, you know, was pretty cool, but everything else was so flat. But in like, you know, what do you think I could get for this? Like at least $50, you know, $1. Can I get $1 an issue out of this? Like, you know, barely, not even $1 an issue. You know, I don't know. Maybe I could. We'll see. I'm gonna try to sell this. I'll let you know what happens. And yeah. And thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books, and we're gonna talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, where we talk about comic books daily. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. We talk comics daily. We also talk a lot about purpose and spirituality. We talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef, and you might have come to this channel through my cooking shorts. And if you stayed for the comic book content, then God bless us all. Then thank you so very much for coming to the Comics Coffee Table. God bless, namaste, good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao, bye-bye.